Hey, long time no see. Joe here. It's like 9:40 at night, Thursday. Whatchamacallit. And of course, Deuce is going to join in here, and Mitzi will probably be here soon too. I got to watch what I'm doing here so he doesn't destroy the model. Anyhow, I wanted to show you people. I finally got around to making some shop cards or having them made. It was really challenging. I used the Walmart program, and these are 4x6. I wanted to go bigger. That the price jump is unbelievable. And same with Walgreens. These were 41 cents a piece. It jumps up to $1.09 a piece for 5x7. Because I wanted to get more information on here, and I tried some on Walgreens. I found a nice layout, but they were more expensive. And getting these laid out, I had to take the photo at the exact proper distance so I could crop them exactly. Because they only give you so much room to lay these out. Like, see how this one's a rectangle and these are square. So I had to go back and take photo after photo and recrop them. And of course, the app lets you crop them too when you're there. But if you don't take them at the right angle and at the right distance, then when you crop them, you cut them off. So I got them all pretty centered in the picture there. So I kind of went with too shiny and too rusty and my logo up here. I want to do some others in the future that have my, my email and all that stuff. But I had like 250, I think, of these made. I've already sent some out. I want to kind of stick to exchanging with people. Though if you want one, I'll try to get one out to you. Now, the only problem is I'm not sure how soon and how when, because unfortunately stamps cost money. They've gone up quite a bit. Envelopes aren't too bad. But anywho, yeah, I've sent a few requests out for people's addresses, fellow YouTubers, and not all of them have gotten back to me. So, yeah, if you want one, let me know through my email, joesrushshop@gmail.com. I'll make a list and try to get them out as soon as I can. I've had some unfortunate money woes lately. Really sucks. Right after I did this, I did these. I did it at work, and then I picked them up after work at Walmart on my way home. That's how quick it was. Anyhow, I did this at work. I paid some other bills. I was behind on my phone bill. Verizon normally takes out on the 28th. Well, I didn't have the money in there. So they, of course, emailed me, say, we couldn't process your payment, blah, blah, bblah, blah. Well, last Friday comes, I have the money in there. I go on my site, on the Verizon site, and I pay my bill. Well, a couple days later, I look on my bank account. I'm like, well, what made me look was I got a text from Verizon, thank you for your auto payment. I'm thinking, I didn't do an auto payment. And sure enough, apparently they keep trying to have it go through. And they did on the same day I paid manually. So instead of $140, I paid $280, which means this pay period, I'm broke. I've got I got a winning $20 ticket in my wallet. I got $12, maybe even less now, in my bank account, and I got a few bucks in change, all to get to next Friday. So, yeah, that sucks. I got my income tax. Hopefully my state shows up early. They said 7 days, business days, but normally they're about a week. So I'm got my fingers crossed they show up tomorrow or Saturday morning at the latest. But I'm probably going to have to put a couple things up for sale, just enough to be able to go out to eat Saturday and eat next week. I got a gas card on the company that should be good, but it really sucks. Then plus, not only did they double it, the paycheck before, what was it? My car insurance. I didn't have the money to pay it, so I said, the reason I didn't have the money was because it was double its normal price. So I called them. I'm like, why is it double? I've been paying it. Well, a few months back when my credit card got hacked, of course, that card was disabled. Their automatic payment didn't come out. I called them a few days later, and I paid with the new debit card. Well, it seems that the auto payment, just like Verizon, also went missed somehow. So, in other words, that payment was for that month I called in because it was the end of December. It's supposed to be paid. So I called early January, and they took it as the January payment. and the December payment never got made. So they leapfrogged it into this one. So there's more money. And then to top everything off, I go to have my taxes done, and I always get a refund from state and federal. City tax comes out dead even every year. So I never owe that. I just got to send the forms in. Which, by the way, if you don't do it on time, they charge you $150 freaking dollars. I forgot the one year. I said, I don't owe nothing. They charged me $150 because I didn't have it turned in. So I got to remember to mail it. Well, anyhow, I go to have my taxes done, and because of some stupid marketplace insurance bullshit, excuse my language, some tax credit thing, I don't understand how that works. They overcredited me or something, so they deducted that. I end up owing them $450, so I'm not getting an income tax return from them. And I need shit on my truck. I need to get new springs, new body mounts. That's what that was going to be for. So, well, so much for that. So now it's back burner. But anyhow, not to stress you with my financial woes. I'm living, I'll be fine, I'll get caught up here, but it's just like, really, everything all at once. So like I was saying, I'll get these out to the people I can, and once I use my stamps up, it may be like, you got to wait between paydays to buy another book and send some more out, that type of thing. But like I'm trying to get, exchange them with people that have them first and then get them out to others. And I'll probably make other versions of them because, like I said, they're cheap. They're 41 cents a piece. So I could always do a different layout, maybe do this way, maybe do one photo of one car and then do the graphics with my address. But yeah, so those are done. But what this video is really about is the 10by1110. Yes, sirree, Bobby, or whatever your name happens to be. Number 2 of my goal is done. Yep, the rant Cyclone Comet. Let's get down here. Yep, it is a really nice kit. I'm going to advise anybody that gets one of these. I don't know about the stock. Oops, it's trying to snap out of my mount here. I don't know about the stock version of this Comet, but this version is challenging. This is not for a first-time builder. I will guarantee you that. You better have a good few models under your belt before you build one of these. They are a challenge. Here's the chassis. I gave it some light weathering. There's the headers and all that good stuff. So many challenges. They have you put the headers over the control arms, but not glue them, then drop the engine in, and then you got to get them up to the engine and glue them. That's one challenge. Then there is a pin coming down from the transmission hump, down, and there's a hole in the top of the transmission. Well, you got to get the engine in, and then up, and then down onto the motor mounts. And then they have you put a tranny cross member, but the tranny doesn't even touch the cross member with it being glued to that goofy pin. If I mounted it to the cross member, then the engine would be tilted and the hood would never close. Because as it is, this hood barely fits. In fact, I shaved the motor mounts down. I thinned them so the motor would drop a little, because I'll show you here in a bit. But that's the exterior. And the cats are playing with the shop cards, of course. But there's the gloss. It came out beautiful. I put a Rat Thing decal on that rear seat block off. The windows are a little tricky. If you build one of these, you got to shave them down a little bit. Make them a little narrower and lower so they fit down in there. I glued mine in and then bare metaled them. But all in all, it's a nice kit. It has challenges. The interior, the chassis. Like I said, getting these control arms, like these tie rods and stuff in, you got to get them under the headers and then get them around everything. And I kind of bent them to make them work. They're not 100% where they're supposed to be, but I don't know if it's something I did or if it's just a tricky kit. That little mark there is from a drop of crazy glue that I sat the tire in and tried to sand it off after it was all glued on. I'm like, I don't want to break anything sanding it, so it's going to stay. But anyhow, got a fire, excuse me, got a fire extinguisher in there. That's to hide the ejector pin mark that's in the middle of the hump. The seats are the seats that came with it. I painted them like a metallic black, so they look like that metallic vinyl that they had back then. But the rest is flat black. You really can't see it. I don't think we're going to be able to see it. Let's see. Yeah, painted the seat mounts aluminum. The dash came out pretty nice. Just more or less painted it. The only decal I used, it probably won't focus, is the speedometer. The rest of the decals for this thing suck. The decals that came with it for the gauges and stuff. The problem with them, the carrier film around each of them, you really can't tell them. The sheet is so far around them. By the time I got them in the water, it's too late to cut them. And even with a setting solution, they crumbled. So most of the decals on this are from that AMT aftermarket sheet. And some are from some other kits. The decals are their little emblems that Mobius gave you. Those worked out pretty good. And a couple others. The Cyclone ones back here with the crossed flags, they came out okay. But I wasn't impressed with all the decals. But like I said, there's other challenges. Getting the interior together. I had to the firewall on one side was back too far. It wouldn't let the sidewall go in until I filed the sidewall to fit. And then once all the interior's in there, it restricts some of the chassis from sitting in there fully. So it's a challenging kit. I don't know if it's all of them. Like I said, it could be something I did or didn't do. It could be my kit. But there's the engine. Let's see if we can get in here without the foam popping off the mount. I went without the little air cleaners. They give you the option of the big Thunderbird oval air cleaner, the 427, or those little funnel ones. But I didn't want to hide those carbs. I'm like, no way. I did wire it. That's the other challenge I'm going to tell you about here. But I painted the valve covers a contrasting color and put some gold in there. Molotoed the breather caps. Put some fuel lines on there. Now, they all are double pumpers on the real car, but they come in at the back, and there's a tube that goes between the bowls, rather than separate lines, so I got as close as I could. The coil is a coil from I have to drill that one out. Let's see what else I did. I didn't put a lower radiator hose in there, because that's a challenge and a half. You can't even see down there. I added some other wires there. Let's see if we can see it. I'll try to tilt it here. Yeah, a little throttle linkage. You can see it there. I didn't put a return spring or nothing. But now here's one of the challenges. The cap that comes with this thing is tiny, 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 tiny. Drilling out would be almost impossible, so I used an aftermarket. Problem with the aftermarket is it's bigger around. As on the real distributors, they sit down below this front cover. They sit down on the manifold and they're low. They're actually below that cover. Well, the problem here is this, I have it glued on top. My only choices was to grind it down, but then it's not going to be round, or grind the cover off, which wouldn't look realistic. So I used this aftermarket distributor. Well, the problem is then I couldn't use the boots, because they wouldn't allow these wires to turn that hard of a angle, and it wouldn't allow the hood to shut. Because, see that little marks on the hood? Yeah, that's how low it is. That's why I don't even think the air cleaners would work. So the only one that got a boot was the coil. And on the real engine, there are no real boots there. I mean, they're flat boots. They look like nipples. They're just almost flat because the spark plugs are down in the cylinders. So that kind of works. And that's what I went with. But now the hood, as you can see, it's a little tight. That's one of the other issues I had. Let's come back up. Yeah, this, because it was kind of hard to get it to fit in there, the bumper attaches to the splash pan. The splash pan's supposed to attach to the grill, and it's all supposed to attach to the car. See those little grooves there? those are where it's supposed to go to the bottom of the grill. But it won't go in far enough, and the bumper won't all fit. In fact, I trimmed, there's a piece that's supposed to wrap around the outside of the body, but the fenders, when I put the grill in and the chassis in, it popped it out a little. So it won't fit. So it's too late now, to go grinding on it and sanding it after it's painted. If I ever build another one, I'm going to know to do some grinding here and there, because the chassis, I had to kind of make it fit. I had to glue it, hit it with the accelerator so it would sit down. Otherwise, it wasn't sitting right. It wasn't even touching the tops of the fender wells. It is a challenging kit. I wouldn't say it's bad. Like I said, it's just not for a first timer, or a second or a third or a fourth or fifth timer, unless you're really naturally gifted. But there's the back. Molto, the emblems there. And since it's not a legal car, just got the Roth plate. Tail lights, I might flow some more red paint in there a little later. I wish Mobius would have made those grooves a little deeper, or molded it in red, so I could have just moltoed the high areas. But all in all, like I said, I'm happy with it. And that's number 2 of 10 cars by 10by1110. Yeah, it does sit high. Wow. I think it got some attitude and altitude. But, yep. So there's another one. Number 2 of 10 cars by November. Let's see if I could do this. Because I got a couple group builds to get done yet, too. And whatever else I got to get done in life. So, yeah. But that's it. I'm happy with it overall. Painted the roll bar body color down here. And that's it. It's just, gold shifter. Well, the handle to the shifter is gold. That's another thing. I didn't put the tack. I just realized I forgot. Because when I was mocking this up, the first time I tried to build it, before I destroyed that chassis, I put the tack where they said to. The window wouldn't go in when I was mocking it up. So I was going to make a bracket and bring the tack back more. Like bring a bracket off the dashboard and mount it so it wouldn't hit the window coming down. I totally forgot to do that. So it doesn't have a tack. And it's not going to have one. Bad enough I forgot the rear view mirror and I put that in after the fact. But the tack didn't get there. So yeah, there's a few things. And then the shifter, if you build one of these, you definitely want the shifter leaning back. Because if it's upright or toward the front, and you use this, that aftermarket gauge, yeah, it's going to hit it. Oh, wait a minute. One more thing. The foot pedals, the gas, clutch, and brake pedals, you're never going to see it in here. I don't think I can get a view in there. They molded from this kit. You'd notice it more on a lighter colored interior. If you build one of these, the pedals are ridiculously close together. And plus the gas pedal is ridiculously long. Now I've looked at pictures of the real thing, and yes, it's long. It's mounted to the floor and it hinges. This one hangs from the dash, but it's still, even in scale, it's way too tall. And then the brake and clutch pedals are like this close together and that close to the gas pedal. So if it was real, your feet would be like catching. You'd have to stay on the outside of the pedals to do it. So it's like, yeah. So what I did is I cut them off and I glued them further apart, and I took the gas pedal and I reduced the height of it. Now, they're still kind of close together. If I were to do one again, especially with a lighter interior, I would probably make a longer crossbar and put the brake and clutch further apart. Because I looked at pictures of the real one, and they're much further. They got room to get your feet in there. Whereas if this were real, even now, if you got big wide feet, you're catching them. So yeah, but it has its quirks. But overall, I'm happy. I really am. So, well, hey, it's been almost 20 minutes already, and I'm babbling on. And I'm going to get ready for bed here pretty soon. And you can see a cat tail in the background. So, yeah. Hey, like, comment, subscribe, share. I'm almost to 1,000 viewers, by the way. I'm really close. I'm like 996 right now. Last I looked. So, yeah. I'm almost at the 1,000 point. Yay, yay me. Well, hey, thanks for watching. Joe's going to go put this away. And Joe is going to go to bed because Joe got to be up for work in the morning. And all that good crap. And I'll try to catch up with you again real soon. And, hey, thanks for watching. Bye-bye and have a good night.